All right, welcome. Today, we are jumping into one of the most famous and maybe most misunderstood stories in the entire Torah, Jacob, Esau, and that bowl of stew. But look, we're not just going to skim the surface here. We're going straight to the mystical source code, the Zohar, to unpack what was really going on in that tent. Because this wasn't just about a hungry brother. No, this was a high-stakes, precision act of cosmic engineering. So let's get into it. So I really want you to picture this scene. Forget any simple drawings you might have seen. Think about this in 4K. You've got the firelight flickering, casting these long dancing shadows. Jacob, the quiet thinker, he's not just cooking dinner. He's calibrating a surgical tool. And that stew? It's not just lentils, it's a carefully crafted key. And then Esau stumbles in, covered in the dust of the field. He's not just tired and hungry. He is a force of nature, a whole system running on pure, raw energy, and he's about to connect with a man of pure, focused wisdom. Every single detail here matters.
To really unpack all of this, we're going on a mystical journey. It's called Pardes. We're going to start with the pshat, the simple, literal story. Then we'll uncover the remez, the hidden clues in the text. From there, we'll explore the drash, the big philosophical principle at play. And finally, we'll get to the sud, the deep, secret, mystical mechanics behind how Jacob literally hacked the birthright.
Okay, so let's start at the beginning, with the pshat, the level everybody knows. Esau, the hunter, he comes in from the field, he's exhausted, he's starving. His brother Jacob just happens to have made a pot of lentil stew. Esau, just completely driven by his immediate physical need, basically yells, "Give me some of that red stuff." And Jacob, seeing his moment, says, "Sure, sell me your birthright first." Esau just scoffs, right? He says, "Look, I'm about to die. What good is a birthright to me anyway?" And just like that, he makes the trade. Now, on the surface, it seems kind of simple. A moment of weakness, a pretty clever, maybe even a little cynical transaction. But the Zohar tells us, no. That's just the front door. Because right away, the Zohar completely reframes these characters. It tells us this isn't really about two brothers. It's about an internal conversation happening inside a single system, the human body. Jacob represents the heart. It's the center of contemplation, of deep thought, of connection to the divine. He resides in the tent, that internal world of study and meditation. Esau, on the other hand, is the liver. He's all about the raw, physical processes, blood, appetite, consumption. He roams the field, the external world of doing and getting. So the story becomes this timeless conversation between our spiritual side and our physical side. The liver basically screams at the heart, "Stop all that thinking and feed me now." So let's go a level deeper on our journey, to the remez, where the text starts leaving us these incredible hints. You have to understand, the Torah is a hyper-precise document. Every single word, every repetition, it's all there for a reason. And in this story, the text goes way out of its way to emphasize one specific detail, a detail that turns out to be the key to everything: the color red. This is our first major clue that something much, much deeper is happening here. Esau doesn't just say, "Feed me some of that red stew." The Hebrew is very specific. He says, "Ha-adam hazeh." Literally, this red stuff. I mean, why the strange, emphatic repetition? Why not just say stew, or even just red stew? This is the Torah waving a huge flag at us, basically screaming, "Hey, look over here, pay attention." The word red, or Adam in Hebrew, it's more than a color in this context. It's a key, it's a code. And the Zohar explains that this repetition is absolutely not an accident. It's what we might call a systemic identifier. Esau's entire being, his whole essence, operates on the frequency of Adom, of red. Think about it. He was born red, Admoni. He craves red food. His land becomes the red field of Edom. His descendants are the nation of Edom. And prophetically, his final reckoning is said to come from a force that is also described as red. So the big takeaway here is this. Red isn't just a description of Esau. Red is Esau. It's his spiritual operating system. It's his source code. So now we climb up another level, to the drash. And at this level, the story totally transforms from a family drama into a cosmic one. This isn't just about two brothers anymore, or even a heart and a liver. This is a strategic engagement between two of the most fundamental forces in all of creation. In the language of Kabbalah, Esau is the embodiment of the Sephirah of Gevurah, which means strength. But more accurately, it's about severe judgment. It's raw, uncontained power. And its color code? Well, of course, it's red. It operates out in the field, the external world of action, without a lot of deep thinking.
Jacob, on the other hand, embodies Tiferet, harmony, beauty, and truth. Tiferet is the principle that integrates and balances all the other forces, especially that raw power of Gevurah. Its domain is the tent, that internal world of wisdom. So the whole cosmic question becomes, how can harmony and wisdom possibly engage with raw, uncontained power? You can't just meet it with force. It's way too strong. It'll just crush you. You have to meet it with something much smarter. You engage it with its own nature. The Zohar explains that Jacob, as the man of Tiferet, has this incredible ability to operate according to a principle called measure for measure. Like the Psalm says, with someone who's kind, you act with kindness, and with someone who's crooked, you have to act shrewdly. Now, this isn't about being deceitful, not at all. It's about a very high-level strategic wisdom. It's about deeply understanding the system you're interacting with and then creating an interface that system can actually understand and respond to. Jacob saw that Esau's system, the system of Gevurah, runs on two things, immediacy and the color red.
And this brings us to a huge insight. That stew, it wasn't some random meal he just happened to be making. The Zohar says it was an act of profound wisdom, bichokhmah. He met red with red. He met Esau's demand for instant gratification with an immediate demand of his own. Sell me your birthright today. He basically crafted a perfect, resonant interface to engage this overwhelming force of Gevurah, but on his own terms, in a controlled environment.
And that, my friends, brings us to the deepest layer of all, the sod, the secret. Now we're moving beyond philosophy and into the pure mechanics of what was actually happening. If Esau is a spiritual operating system running on the code of red Gevurah, then Jacob is the master programmer, the cosmic engineer who knows exactly how to write a script to interact with that system and get a specific result. The Zohar is incredibly explicit about the stew's function. It wasn't just bait, it was a targeted input, a piece of spiritual technology. The Zohar literally calls the red lentil stew something that breaks the strength and power of the red blood. I mean, think of it like a piece of code designed to exploit a very specific, known vulnerability in a system. Esau's entire being is red blood. It's raw, untempered Gevurah. That red stew was a spiritual agent that matched his frequency so perfectly that it could get inside his system and just for a moment weaken the dominance of that raw power. And that's what made a secure transaction possible.
Let's just map out Jacob's brilliant 4-step strategy. Step 1, identify. He recognized that Esau's system operates on a red frequency of Gevurah. Step 2, craft. He created a perfectly targeted input, the red lentil stew, to match Esau's nature. It had to be red to even be seen by the system. Step 3, engage. He drew him into a controlled transaction using Esau's own protocol, measure for measure, immediacy for immediacy. And finally, step 4, the ultimate goal, reroute. He executed the command to transfer a critical asset, the birthright, the main channel for divine flow, from a volatile, unstable processor to a stable, harmonious one. This was a spiritual hack of the absolute highest order. So, to put it in really simple terms, think of the video game version. Esau is like a powerful but really reckless character in a video game. His favorite power-up, the one he absolutely can't resist, is the red stew. It gives him this quick boost, but it has a side effect. Jacob, the master strategist, knows this. He crafts the red stew and offers it at the perfect moment, knowing that in Esau's haste to grab it, he's going to drop the game's ultimate weapon, the birthright. And Jacob just calmly picks it up. He didn't cheat. He just out-strategized him using the game's own internal mechanics. Now let's scale that up to the cosmic engineering version, right? What Jacob did was a textbook case of resource manipulation, using a specific resonant resource, the stew, to influence a system. It was a system-level negotiation. He wasn't arguing with his brother's personality. He was transacting directly with the underlying cosmic architecture of Gevurah itself. And the result was an authority transfer, moving the key protocol of the birthright from Esau, a totally volatile processor, to himself, a stable one. And the ultimate purpose? To create a spiritual firewall, securing the future flow of divine energy from the chaos of uncontained judgment. This was preemptive, protective systems administration on a cosmic scale. So this brings us to the final and, honestly, the most crucial part of this whole journey, the why. I mean, why go to all this trouble? Why was this transaction so absolutely necessary that it became this pivotal moment in all of history? Well, the stakes were way, way higher than just some family inheritance.
First, we have to really get what the birthright truly was. It wasn't about getting a double portion of land or, more sheep. It was the spiritual inheritance, the job of being the primary conduit, the main pipeline for bringing the divine blessing that was promised to Abraham down into our physical world. It was a piece of absolutely critical cosmic infrastructure for the entire future of humanity. And that kind of infrastructure simply could not be left in the hands of uncontained Gevurah. A force of pure, raw judgment is a totally unstable channel. It's like trying to run the entire world's power grid through a faulty, overheating processor. It's just too volatile and it's potentially destructive. The Zohar teaches that when Gevurah is unchecked, it actually feeds the negative forces, what it calls the klippot, or the husks. So leaving the birthright with Esau risked the entire spiritual project being consumed by chaos. So the power had to be reallocated. It was moved from Esau, the unstable channel, to Jacob, the stable architecture of Tiferet, who could properly harmonize and channel that divine energy for all future generations. It was a necessary system upgrade to ensure holiness could continue in the world. And this leaves us with a really powerful and maybe provocative thought to take away. This story teaches us that profound, world-changing events don't always come from brute force. A lot of the time, they come from deep wisdom, from understanding the nature of the forces we're dealing with and engaging them on their own terms. So if a simple bowl of stew, when it's prepared with deep intention and wisdom, can literally re-architect destiny on a cosmic scale, it really forces us to ask ourselves, what are the red stews in our own lives? What are the targeted, wise, resonant actions we can take to engage the unbalanced forces around us and inside us to create more harmony and reroute power toward a more stable and holy outcome?
Thank you so much for joining us for this complete journey through the Pardes.
We truly hope that these ancient truths help you and your family improve your own dimensions this week. And if you enjoyed this full chapter deep dive, please do like, subscribe, and share which part of this journey really touched your soul down in the comments. We love exploring all of this with you. We'll see you in the next chapter.